Okay, hello, welcome back to PEP, and we'll be jumping straight into our first PE week of the year. Yay! Okay, so I'm Lydia, and I'll be sharing with you the first two, which is the letter two. So right now we are in the new year, and some of us will or may be experiencing some sort of change this year. Some of us might want to change up our room, change up certain habits, perhaps even change our phones, etc., in order to be able to start afresh for this new year. However, the question is, how often do we actually think about changing ourselves internally or even spiritually? So that's what this letter two is about. We always aim to renew our phones, our laptops, our rooms, and all sorts of items in order to make our life on Earth slightly easier. But many of our friends have actually never considered renewing their soul through Christ. So you can actually start the letter by sharing how you look forward to spending this new year with them and how you are grateful for them. And also you can share what are some plans you have before asking them what do they hope to change or renew for this new year. So in this letter to guide, there is only one suggested gospel link. However, if you are able to think of your own gospel link, you may do so. Yeah, so in the suggested gospel link, this is how it goes. So first, you can let them know that aside from renewing their own personal belongings, they can also renew their inner self. So you can choose to actually share how God have changed your character, your outlook of life in ways that no other people is able to do so. Then you can actually continue by sharing how this can only be done by someone who knows us inside and out, which is our Creator God. So this is because God has designed us in a special way where we have to rely on Him and we can't feel this void within ourselves without God. Yeah, so you can then talk about why is that so by actually linking it into the 5 C's, which is creation, curse, consequences, Christ, and choice. So once you are done drafting the letter, you can actually submit it into the link under the letter guide document. So the most important part that you should not forget to include in your letter is to actually ask for their response. So you can thank them for the time that they have actually set aside to read your letter, ask if they have any questions or parts that didn't quite catch in your own letter. Or another way you could hear their response is to invite them out for a meal or an activity to hear what's their thoughts face to face in person. So let me just quickly share with you what the letter will actually look like. So um, there's two designs. So this is the first one, and then this is the second one. Yeah, so at the end, that is where the letter will be included. Okay, so for today, if you're gonna be choosing the letter two, then hopefully you can actually start drafting out the introduction and the link under the letter two. Start drafting out the link, introduction, and the gospel link. Yeah, so hopefully if you have enough time, you can actually go into the gospel response. Yeah, so before we go into that, I actually have a burst of encouragement for you guys. So if you turn to 2 Timothy verse 1, chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." So I think you can take some time to also recall how you felt when you first experienced God, knowing how loving He is and how God went out of His way to bring you back to Him, even though all of us were undeserving of it. Yeah, so I hope that as you share with your friend, you'll be reminded of this, how we can actually fix our eyes on God, knowing that our friends can have the hope of experiencing this transformative love of God and how God is in control of everything. So because of we know that God is alongside us, we don't have to be fearful, we don't have to be timid as we share the gospel to our friends. So this is all for the letter 2. Now I'll pass the time over to Emmanuel.
Hi everyone. Yeah, so my name is Emmanuel, and yeah, I'm just gonna go through with you all the first questionnaire pool of 2024. Ooh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of you already had quizzes this year already, so I think it doesn't work for you. But yeah, some of you will be your first quiz of the year. But isn't it strange like how people just like to celebrate the first of everything, and with the new year coming, it's like everything's restarted, everything is like the first now. But yeah, this is what this tool is about. It's about it's called Have You Blank This Year. It's basically like a little counter to the things that we have or have not done this year already. Let me share screen. Oh, where is it? Yeah, it's here. Right, so this is basically the questionnaire. There'll be questions like maybe have you been late to class already this year? Yes or no? Basically a few yes or no questions that we can send to our friends, kind of get to know what they have or have not done this year. But, yeah, and how does it link to the gospel? Basically is if you look at the guides, the first Corinthians, uh, 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17, there's this new creation, right? That everything is new this year, but really not everything is new this year. But the one way that you can truly be made new is through Jesus, through the gospel. And the other way you can link to the gospel is um, we all want to accomplish things this year. There are certain goals that we want to achieve. But what really makes it all worth it in the end? Sometimes it feels very pointless. But yeah, like we as Christians have um this goal that really helps us, the goal that Jesus gives to us, that we work towards His glory and His honor. And if we want to share that with our friends, that one personal, long lasting goal that we have from Jesus. Yeah, so right now, if you choose this tool, hopefully you can start the conversations with your friends, send them the first tool of the year, say, oh, would you like to do a cool personality quiz thing, your first one of 2024, and or maybe also just invite them to do this tool and have start conversations with them, and hopefully also lead to the gospel and maybe your personal testimony as well. Yeah. But before we go, let me just share with you something. Let's just pause. Let's take some time to remember what this gospel that we are trying to share really means to us. Um, this tool really is about new beginnings, and I don't know what last year is like, whether you had a lot of guilt or a lot of joy. But if God has done his work in you and you are saved, I'm confident that we are all secure. Yeah, like in Romans 8, verse 32 to 34, it says, He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things? Who shall bring any charge against God's elect? It is God who justifies. Who is to condemn? It is Christ Jesus who is the one who died, more than that, who was raised, yeah, so I want us to really think about what this gospel means to us. About as we think about this gospel link, remember how the gospel impacted us and continues to hold fast to Him. We are secure despite the ups and downs last year and even the coming year as well. And hopefully, want to share that with our friends. Yeah, and so that's um, all we have for today. Hopefully, after this, you can pick your tool and start on step 1 and step 2, respectively. Yeah, and we will see you all in G5. Hopefully, we have some good news to share with us as well. Thank you.